Donald Trump wants to disrupt, dismantle our democracy. He wants to establish an autocratic government.
Let's talk about more crazy Democrats, because there is this woman in California, communist California, Representative Barbara Lee. And for those of you that watch this show regularly, you may remember her from last week. She was calling for a $50 minimum wage in California, which I think California, have at it. Go for it. That'll be just fantastic. Anyway, here she is talking about how she's going to keep Trump off the ballot.
I would do everything I can do to make sure that Donald Trump is not elected. Donald Trump wants to disrupt, dismantle our democracy. He wants to establish an autocratic government, and he's a national security threat, and he's a danger to this country and to the rest of the world.
Knowles, I keep saying we just need to buy these people a mirror. On one hand, she's saying she wants to keep the guy off the ballot. On the other hand, she's saying he's the bad guy and he's the autocrat and he's the fascist and all the other stuff.
Do they always say this? When Viktor Orban gets elected in Hungary, because most Hungarians like him, that's the threat to democracy. When most Italians vote for Giorgia Meloni, that's the threat to democracy. When most Brits vote for the Brexit, that's a threat to democracy. They simply use democracy to mean something other than democracy. Democracy basically means government by the people, but what they really mean is liberalism. What they really mean is leftism. So in their mind, they're not lying. They're telling the truth. Any time a Democrat loses, any time a conservative Republican wins, that is, for the libs, prima facie evidence of something illegitimate in the election. Because in their mind, it's so obviously true that liberalism and leftism are good for everybody. So the only way that the conservatives could ever win is if they cheat, if they disenfranchise the voters, or if they hypnotize everyone under a false consciousness. So it makes total sense in their minds that a conservative winning an election could be a threat to democracy. It's because they believe that the political right is totally illegitimate.
Arynne, are you with me on this idea? Like, when I heard Barbara Lee talk about the $50 minimum wage last week, I was like, okay, just more. Just keep doing this at this point. I used to make fun of you people, but if this is what you want and these are the people you want to elect and you want to take Trump off the ballot, it's like, then have at it, Cali. Have at it, New York, where you just were. It's like, what can I do? What can I do?
I am absolutely with you. And, in New York, they're also imposing a congestion tax, which is going to add even more to all the costs that people have right now in New York City. So I'm definitely of the mindset of, you voted for it, and I hope you get it. I'm definitely not a graceful conservative when it comes to this. I do love to see it. I have two things to say about Barbara Lee. The first is these moments with the left when they, just like you said, in the same breath, they're saying Donald Trump is the threat to democracy, but they're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure he cannot be president. It reminds me of the bully in high school who beats up the gay kids because he's secretly super gay. And that is what all Democrats are to me. And Barbara Lee, I mean, it's really rich coming from a woman whose district includes Oakland, California. So, if you want to make America Oakland, it means you'll be stepping in human feces and running around tent cities and trying to avoid armed robberies, except, of course, if His Majesty Xi Jinping from China is in which case, when the Grand Emperor is around, we'll actually clean up the streets. That is who is speaking in the clip that you just played. So I hope they get everything that they are voting for.